report from the Foundation for Defense of Democracies warns that Chinese-made cellular modules could pose a significant national security risk to the U.S. And joining us now is Rex Lee, cybersecurity advisor at MySmart Privacy and Tech journalist. Rex, good afternoon to you.
Thank you for having me on.
Now, to start, can you talk to us about what exactly the risk is here with these cellular modules? What exactly can they do?
Well, the cellular modules that go into these devices are usually on 4 and 5G cellular phone networks. They usually go on like security systems and or IoT devices or remote devices, as well as home environmental systems and so forth. So they support a lot of remote type of devices that are associated with things like IoT networks for utilities, where they're controlling a LAN, where they're controlling a NB-IoT network or a FAN network or an AMI automated meter reading network and other infrastructure like that. So it's highly critical to make sure that the connectivity between these IoT devices that have these cellular modules in them is secure.
So how long has this been a concern, and what are we, or what is the U.S. doing about it?
Well, the main concern here, there's two security issues with this issue. If you're using IoT devices, let's say the IoT devices are even made in China, all of these remote IoT devices are driven off of applications on your phone. So there's another security risk there, because most people know that the apps and platforms today support targeted advertising, which means that the apps enable the developers to conduct audio, video, and physical surveillance on the end user, as well as data mine information off of the host device. Now, some of these IoT devices, such as a home environmental network or even a security system for a home or a business, a lot of those cameras have mics on them as well. So they're able to conduct audio, video, and physical surveillance while data mining the individuals, not only from the endpoint device that has the cellular module in it, but also through the app, which means that when you walk away from your home security system or an IoT network that may have these unsecure cellular modules within them, you're still being surveilled and data mined through the app by the company that supports the products and services. Some may think that's a cybersecurity threat only if it's a foreign company, but I happen to think also with a domestic company. And again, a lot of these IoT devices, even drones that work remotely and also have these cellular modules within them, so they can backhaul all of the data that they're collecting. A lot of these products are actually made in China, and so you have an end-to-end security problem, not only with the backdoors and the cellular modules, but within the apps and platforms that support these products and services.
So you've explained a lot there. Just go a little bit deeper for me, or let's expand a little bit. When we talk about Chinese companies selling these modules, and that they're the companies that we mostly are getting these from, they're connected to the Chinese Communist Party, if you think they are. What is the risk here if the Chinese companies are getting information from us and controlling it, and then having this relationship with the Chinese Communist Party? What could they do with this?
Well, regarding the relationship with the Chinese Communist Party, I was asked to write a report for a security session that I'm doing in the utility industry that was given to the FCC, the NSA, NIST, and CISA on what's termed as military-civil fusion programs in China, Russia, and the United States to look at these risks. Now, getting a little bit deeper at that level, what civil military fusion programs are simply this: the ability to weaponize consumer and enterprise products and services for warfare. We see this happening today with Palantir in the United States, being able to weaponize data and then target people and go after those people. Well, China and Russia have similar capabilities through their civil military fusion programs, and those roll right up to the CCP. And that's the deeper threat. And I'll give you an example of how dangerous this is. If you have an IoT network supporting a utility, and that IoT network goes down, that can take the grid down with it. So, having a backdoor in these cellular modules, not only can you turn the equipment off, you can also able to take control of industrial control systems with these apps as well. So not only can you turn them off, you can control them to do different things. This was the case. This isn't anything new. This happened with the Rahib oil refineries in 2019. They were attacked by a malware called Triton Trissus that worked very similarly, and it was uploaded into the Windows 10 operating system on their computer, so their cybersecurity provisioning platforms couldn't pick up that the malware was even on these computers, and the Russians were able to go in and turn systems on and off, and they almost were able to cause an explosion in the oil refineries before it was caught. And these are the same refineries that were attacked by drones in 2019 following these Triton Trissus cyber attacks, and the same oil refineries that have been hit again with the Iran conflict. So this is a huge risk because a lot of people are associating with these cellular modules with just consumer products and services. A lot of enterprise businesses and government agencies, even military bases, use IoT endpoint devices that have these modules in them.
So I guess the question is, if this has been going on for a while, or you've been knowing about it for a while, why have the Chinese firms been able to capture nearly half the global market for these cellular modules?
Well, the problem we've got with China overall is you have to look at how the apps are made. If there's no apps to support these products, then you can't distribute the products. And the apps are developed in Android, iOS, and Windows. So therein lies the problem. You have Google, Apple, and Microsoft that are actually distributing these apps. They distribute all the Chinese social media apps and retail platform apps like Temu and Shin and so forth. So I think there needs to be some oversight here. And I think Google, Apple, and Microsoft need to really look at all of the apps and platforms that are coming out of China and looking at the broad ecosystem of products that they support. Again, most people think of a Chinese app or platform as Temu, or what used to be TikTok, which is Douyin in China. Now it's TikTok USDS as well, but they're not totally divested from China either. ByteDance still owns 19% of the company overall, the US-based company, as well as Shou Chu, the CEO of ByteDance, is on that board. But again, I don't want to go down that path, but a lot of people are associating apps and platforms with China as simply social media platforms or retail platforms like Shin or Temu, but it goes much broader than that when you look at our IoT device infrastructure. And then you have only 3 companies that are actually responsible for the distribution of these apps and platforms, and that's Google, Apple, and Microsoft.
So given what you're saying about Google, Apple, and Microsoft, would it be difficult for the U.S. companies to replace these components at scale?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you have to go into an IoT infrastructure, especially like an automated meter reading network or a FAN, which field area network for a utility, that's heart surgery. You've got to replace all of the devices. One utility could be supporting 100,000 to 1 million endpoints, for example, or a military base could be supporting thousands of endpoint as well. So, what we saw, I'll give you a quick evolution of what happened. In 2008 and 9, we were told we were being surveilled and data mined to make our services customized for us, like everything we're doing on Windows, Android, and iOS. Then in 2013-14, with the launch of Google's ad tech platform, we were told what's data surveillance and data mining for targeted advertising. In 2016, we saw that the data was being used for political indoctrination through the Facebook Cambridge Analytica scandal. And now, present day, we're seeing militaries and military contractors like Palantir, militaries from China and Russia that are actually weaponizing this data for warfare. So we're at a critical point of where there needs to be a lot of oversight. And I really think that you can't get government to do it because of the lobbying power of the U.S.-China tech lobby. That's another issue at play here, because companies like ByteDance hire former presidential advisors like David Urban as their lobbyists, and Huawei hired Tony Podesta. So you can't really go that route. Where you need to gain traction is to bring Google, Apple, and Microsoft to the table on this and let them look at what they're distributing, and so that they can control it. Because by the time you try and get government to regulate this, it's going to be 5 or 10 years down the road, and we need action today.
Well, we're seeing that in the Iran-U.S. war, China is involved, but they haven't gone that far yet. So what would happen, say, in a scenario where the U.S. military mobilizes in Taiwan if China invades there? I mean, is it likely that they would use this capability and to stop the U.S. from interfering? Yeah,
they're, I don't know if you want to call them trial tests or anything, but we've seen it used, the Colonial Pipeline attacks. We don't ever get confirmation whether anomalies like the CrowdStrike, when that went down, we really don't know if that was really a fault of the company or were they attacked. We don't hear about these things, but we do see this, and we see it around the globe as well, especially in the Ukraine. You see that they can go in and take their power grid down, and also that we've utilized similar technologies in this country. If you look at Venezuela, for instance, we were able to shut their power down for 20 minutes and then turn it back on. If Russia or China have those same capabilities through these modules, they could do the same thing here. They're not going to do it at scale unless we really get into a war where we're a proxy war, either in Taiwan. I thought we would see some of it with Iran, but China's dependent on oil from Iran, and I think their better solution is to let us go ahead and come out on top here than negotiate with them as long as they're getting their oil through Iran. But if let's say oil wasn't a factor here, then I would think we would see these types of cyber attacks in the U.S. More frequently.
Well, clearly the U.S. probably is aware that this is going on, and I'm sure they're doing something to prepare for it. Rex Lee, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
Spring lambs in Britain are set to cross a London bridge. A farm outside the British